What is good, guys? Today we're going to be talking about the Los Angeles Chargers 2022 NFL season. So, I was really high on the Chargers going into the season. I said I loved what they did. I mean, I always liked, going into the season, I said this. We're going to get to Brandon Staley later. I said, Brandon Staley, I always liked him more than others. I know he's a defensive guy, but I liked him. Justin Herbert, he's an elite quarterback. Great arm, great athlete, great size, smart, coachable, mature. Everything you want in your quarterback. He is that. And I was like, he's going to have a big year 3. I liked the offensive line. Corey Linsley, arguably the best center in the game. Rashawn Slater, great young left tackle. Their defense was built up. Joey Bosa and Khalil Mack, arguably the best pass rush duo in the league. You get J.C. Jackson paired up with Asante Samuel Jr. at corner. Derwin James comes back at safety. Bryce Callahan, a lot of you don't know him. He was a part of the 2018 Bears defense. He's their nickelback, their slot corner. You get Kyle Van Noy at linebacker. They drafted Kenneth Murray, a first-round linebacker, not too long ago. I think that was like 2020 or something like that, so they're paired up. Run defense, I knew was going to be a bit questionable. They lost Justin Jones. He actually signed with my Bears at defensive tackle. But then, number 1 wide receiver in Keenan Allen, number 2 wide receiver in Mike Williams, number 3 wide receiver in Jesse Palmer, a terrific blocking tight end in Gerald Everett. 2 running backs who I really liked, Austin Eckler, Sony Michel. They finally got their kicker, Cameron Dicker. So I was like, I got to be honest, I picked the Chargers to win the AFC. I did. I said they're going to play a weaker schedule. I like the roster better than Kansas City, Cincinnati, Buffalo. I was like, Herbert's maybe not as good, but almost as good as those guys. So I was like, I like the Chargers. Injuries. You can say injuries decimated them because it's not like they had to just overcome 1 or 2 important positions. I mean, at one point, I don't know if they were missing all these guys at one point or if it was like, all right, you're missing some guys now, then you're missing some more now, then later on you're missing them. But I remember, look at all the guys that at least got injured at one point during the season. I'm just naming stars. Justin Herbert bangs up his ribs in week 2. He played through it. But then you have Rashawn Slater, left tackle, done for the year. Center Corey Linsley was hurt for a while. Joey Bosa, your star pass rusher, as much of a Khalil Mack fan as I am, Joey Bosa's the best pass rusher on that team. He was out for majority of the season. Keenan Allen, your number 1 wide receiver, hurt. Mike Williams, your number 2 wide receiver, missed some time. Who else? J.C. Jackson, your corner, out for the year. I mean, come on. Those are important positions. Corner, receiver, offensive line, pass rusher. Those are like the positions you need to win. But they managed to make the playoffs. They got healthy towards the end of the season, and they managed to make the playoffs. And I said, well, I don't think they're going to win the AFC, but they could make a deep run maybe. And I picked them to beat Jacksonville on the road, and they were going to do that. But then they blew one of the biggest comebacks, or they blew one of the biggest leads in NFL history. And that's when I completely jumped off the Brandon Staley bandwagon. It's just unacceptable. You can't do that. You're up that much. Opposing team's quarterback throws 4 picks. I think like they were all in the first half too. You can't do that. Are you kidding me? And that's why I was so critical of Dan Quinn and the Falcons for blowing leads. I'm like, that's coaching. And when you have a roster this good against an inexperienced team outside of their head coach who won a Super Bowl, that's on the coach. You got to blame the coach. When your roster is that good, you're up that much, that's coaching. Brandon Staley, I can't back him anymore. Maybe he's competent. Maybe he can win playoff games with Staley. But I don't think he can win a Super Bowl with Brandon Staley. I think it's unfortunate. I really think he's going to get fired next year unless you see significant amount of improvement. But I can't bet on that. You should look at Kansas City in your division, defending champs. 2 of the last 4 Super Bowl winners were the Chiefs. Denver's going to be better. They got Sean Payton. We'll get to Sean Payton in a little bit. Raiders, I think, are going to be improved. Cincinnati, even if they lose T. Higgins and a few defensive starters, they're still Cincinnati. Buffalo, they're still going to be a tough out. Jacksonville's not going anywhere. This ain't the NFC. This is the AFC. It's loaded, especially with young, talented quarterbacks. Luckily, you have one, but that's besides the point. When this was over, I immediately reacted, and I said, you need to go sign Sean Payton. Hire him, I should say. But I said, and I wouldn't do this. I honestly wouldn't. If a guy like Sean Payton wasn't on the market, I would have kept Staley for another year. Because I'm not going to build this whole thing up, make my players learn a new scheme, a new system. Excuse me. Like, just hire a coordinator, an unproven guy. But Sean Payton, he's won a Super Bowl. Great offensive coach. Top 5 coach in the league, arguably. I would have hired him. I think you're almost unstoppable with Sean Payton as coach. But they didn't. Staley took his job, and now your in-division rival hired him. And there were a lot of people who thought Sean Payton was hoping that job opened up. See, I'm telling you, if it's the Chargers or the Broncos, he won't admit this now, he would have chose the Chargers in a heartbeat over the Broncos. So I think it's disappointing. Chargers, I can't say the Chargers had the most disappointing season. Maybe to me they did, but not to the majority of NFL fans and football experts. But yeah, disappointing season. Where do you go from here? I don't know. I can't say run it back, but at the same time, I want to say that. So, gosh, so let's just say Sean Payton isn't on the market. What would I have done if I was the GM? I would have tried to run this back. It's probably what they're going to do. I can't say I'd blame them. So, yeah. That's going to wrap it up for this video. More content throughout the next couple of days. Please like, comment, and subscribe. And I'll talk to you guys in the next one.